Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, it's Watchmen, the movie this time. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it.
Welcome to Friday the 16th of December. We're doing Watchmen, the movie.
Yeah, you'll get that later. 2009, Warner Brothers. It's Zack Snyder, who also does 300, and he brings along Tyler Bates, who does the music for 300 and does music for this. Great music for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this movie, we did the comic earlier. This movie is a great translation.
Absolutely.
Of the comic. In fact, you were almost like, let's just do them both together because they're so similar.
Right.
I did have a few things to say about the movie. But anyway, yeah, very, very good. Almost like page for page.
Yeah, and 300 was pretty much the same thing where they did almost page for page. But I love reading the books, and then after reading the books, you go to the movie and it's just like all these characters that you came in, that you enjoyed are now fleshed out, and you get to hear their voice.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword though, because sometimes the voices are crap. Like say the animated comic Watchmen,
motion picture,
motion comic.
Motion comic. Sorry.
The voiceover is horrible. I think I don't like it at all.
You're right.
In fact, you can kind of hear like it's the same guy doing the same voices. Like there's two characters on screen, but he's just like, yeah, I'm Rorschach. I'm like, I'm Dr. Manhattan. Not quite like that, but you can tell it's the same guy just kind of like throwing his voice or something.
That's right.
But in this movie, the characters shine. They do a really good job.
I love every single character.
I especially love Rorschach, which is funny because if you watch the behind the scenes, he's like this studious kind of like nerdy skinny guy.
You wouldn't think. You're absolutely right. You wouldn't think that he would be this person. Not to mention the fact that he ends up being
like balding.
And then he ends up being Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare from Elm Street. You just would not see him in those roles. That makes him a great actor, I think.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean in the new ones? It's not the old guy.
What?
It's not the other guy.
No,
the new one.
The new one.
Yeah,
the newest one.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You were confused. Like, what?
The newest
one.
Not Robert Englund, the old...
Right.
Sorry.
Yes. He does a pretty good gruff voice.
Yes,
I mean,
he does.
It's just a little bit strained, but it's nowhere near as bad as like Christian Bale and Batman. It's like that just doesn't work for me.
It really doesn't.
Although I love him as Batman the other way, it's just his voice. He's just trying too hard. This actor for Rorschach is
perfect,
beautiful. And, he's kind of small, but he's ripped. I mean, he's very well defined.
Yeah.
And seeing him without his mask, I mean, he's just, and looking at the comic, he's such a great, almost verbatim translation. I mean, he doesn't have as many freckles, but he's the same guy.
Yeah.
It's great.
I think he was made for that role.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Night Owl, I'm a little bit sketchy on the guy. I mean, he's okay.
I liked him. I loved him.
I liked him. I didn't love him.
Ugh.
But I don't know if I should love him, because I didn't respond to that character as much as apparently you did.
Oh, yeah, I love Night Owl.
Silk Spectre, she kind of reminds me of Natalie Portman, which instantly makes me not like her, because I don't like Natalie Portman. But she does a fine job. Whoever this actress is, I can't remember. I'm sorry. And then, what's her name is her mother. She does a great job.
I think so, because also she's wearing the old makeup, the old prosthetic makeup, and I think she just...
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I didn't
apparently they're like pretty much the same age. Like she must be a couple of years older.
Yeah, and I didn't even notice that she just looked older. I think the makeup there was great.
And the guy they cast for comedian looks just like the comedian.
That's right.
And Dr. Manhattan, they do a really good job. I was really nervous.
How hard? I mean, it must have been so hard to find a very bulked up, glowing blue man in this world, and they found it. And
he worked out to be perfect. You'd think that he'd be a bad actor. They did this thing where they like made suits out of blue LEDs, so we had that natural glow in the scene, which is really cool because you see it reflecting off people's faces and the wardrobe and the whatever walls and stuff.
That's cool.
And then they had his face acting, but they replaced the body obviously. Super cool. I was very nervous because it can go either way.
Yeah, you could really ruin that, but they did great, I think.
Fortunately, it went the way of like Gollum and whatever. Right. It was pretty decent. I was worried about the whole size thing. I didn't know if they were going to show that, and
they did, but it was great.
Yeah, it was good. And then like the thing on Mars, I talked about a little bit in the comic.
Yeah, it was
when he makes that castle or whatever in Mars. It's awesome in the movie. It's better
really,
in the movie.
It's not really a castle.
It's like
I don't know what it is.
Piece or something.
Yeah, like a piece of clockwork.
It's just like his mind, trying to focus or something. I don't know.
It was cool.
So yeah, brilliant movie, great translation. I have a few issues in that. Okay, why was the sex scene like 5-10 minutes long? It's like really long. In the book, it's like 2 pages, and like literally you see them porking, like literally, and the boobs are flapping around. And it's just like, come on, seriously, like why?
Honestly, I was okay with it. Not because I'm a pervert, but
debatable.
And I think that it worked in that situation. With everything else that was going,
gratuitous.
No, I don't think so. With everything else that they were facing nuclear destruction. They were facing No.
I'm not arguing for why did they have a love scene. I'm arguing to why it was soft porn. Like literally.
I think that it worked fine. I mean,
it was just too long.
I don't think so at all. Even the length of it was. I mean, I guess I don't. Maybe you have to be in a certain mindset. I don't know why that works.
You're just making it worse for yourself.
No.
Maybe you have to be in a certain mindset.
Here's why I think it works.
Boobies. Sorry. I mean, I understand that you're saying it's warranted.
It is.
That, they've always had this kind of sexual tension, and Dr. Manhattan just had left her,
right.
Whatever. They had just had that fallout or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can understand, like, she's feeling it again for the first time because she's overwhelmed with Dr. Manhattan's, electricity and all the senses, but he also doesn't really enjoy it. His mind isn't into it.
Okay,
so there's like this weird dichotomy of more pleasure but less, you know what I mean, like joy or whatever.
I think it's more than that. Look,
she's like rediscovering it.
You have the one scene where Dr. Manhattan makes multiples of himself,
right,
while he's having making love to her or whatever,
right,
and that lasts a good 15 seconds,
right,
and then you have this where she's finally found love.
That seems like a ridiculous justification for more ass. Whatever. I agree to disagree.
I disagree because there is so much happening around that scene that having that scene is just very important. It as long as it needed to happen.
It's far too, yeah.
If it was 30 seconds, of okay.
Doesn't leave anything to the imagination, that's for sure. Anyway, so yeah, just as in the comic, I mean, it follows verbatim. It's what are you writing down?
I'm writing something down that I want to research for later.
Okay. It's almost verbatim. So these superheroes have been forced to retire. They're kind of coming out again. That's why Silk Spectre and Night Owl they go out in the town and they save people from burning building and all that, and that leads to them. She had just had a fallout with Dr. Manhattan. She's there to keep the peace with Dr. Manhattan. We won't go into that too much. Anyway, whatever. Dr. Manhattan leaves just like in the comic. He goes to Mars, and so the world is kind of left to its own devices while he's gone because he's kind of become the linchpin to peace.
Right.
Like people are they're afraid of what he can do, and so they have peace. And that's the only real reason. So you take him away, what happens? The heroes try to come back out. Rorschach, the whole prison thing.
Yep.
Now, I just especially paid attention to the sex scene in the comic because I was like, this isn't anywhere near the comic has like 2 pages, and I was right. It's like 2 pages, but the other one I paid attention to was Rorschach in prison. Okay. Because I remembered it differently, and it does happen a little differently. But I think that the movie takes just enough license to make it even more interesting, honestly. Because the guy is reaching for him through the bars, and we can't get into it too much. That's a really fun part of the movie. Seeing Rorschach is always a joy for me.
Yes.
And also the ending of this movie. This is another movie that I believe ends really well. I felt much more emotionally engaged in the ending of this than reading the comic, especially Rorschach. What happens to him, I didn't respond to as much in the comic as like, okay,
that's seeing horrible. It happen,
but seeing it, and the emotion from the actors, they did a really good job.
You're absolutely right because
the animated comic tries to do it, but it's pathetic.
Alternatively, in the comic, Ozymandias' character really grappled me in it more than the movie. So I think that's interesting that in different media the different characters will shine differently. Different.
Well, it kind of what your brain makes you know, what the writers coax your brain to make versus what an actor has.
But I also think that it's very involved in the type of character they are and the best place to portray them. So Rorschach was, you know, in his situation was definitely better perceived on, you know, video than written. Yeah, and I think that's very interesting.
Well, they did a really good job with Rorschach too, and his mask, and
I think they did a great job with everyone. Yeah, I love Ozymandias. You know, I love the comedian. I mean, you know, you don't love him, but you love to hate him.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of feel for him a little bit, but
at the end, yeah.
Even what's his name? Not Modius. I'm thinking of Irredeemable. The other guy with the pointy ears.
Oh yeah. His arch nemesis. Yeah.
Everybody's cast really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. You know, we highly recommend it.
Absolutely.
Would you say watch the movie or the book first?
Honestly, I would say read the book first, the graphic novel, only because once it's just like a perfect translation. The voices in your head that the characters make when you're reading them translate so well in the movie. You know, suddenly it's like that's exactly what I thought Rorschach would sound like.
It's true. I think it's true.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say absolutely, you know, check them both out.
I still wonder what the hell that whole blue lion thing. We were thinking the same thing. Yeah. Like there's no explanation of that.
Yeah, Ozymandias has a pet that I guess he created. It's like a panther lynx thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's like a chimera kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
I guess it's bioengineered.
But because he's blue, I almost think it has something to do with Dr. Manhattan.
And it might because they are working on the same thing.
They like know each other too. I mean, they're like, I don't know, whatever. Okay, guys, go experience it for yourself.
Yep.
It's a good one.
It is, absolutely. Check it out. Bye.
Business comic. Oh, come on. Yay.
Ah.
Sweet.
Bye.
See you later. Next week, we start off with Scott Pilgrim, the comic. On today's Duel review, the movie. See, Watchmen, the movie.
It's funny because we're both wearing watches.
Hilarious.
We're Watchmen.
Right.
That was good.
On today's Duel review, the movie. I'm RJ.
Nick.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it. I want to get through this week.
Okay. So Watchmen was a movie about...
Come on. Get serious.
Oh, okay.
Not too serious, though. Don't do your thing.
Who's starting?
I am, but we need to do that. We're not doing that. That's a blooper.
Well, why?
No, because people won't know. On today's Duel review, it's Watchmen, the movie. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it. Don't say that's right. Sorry, I'm a Nazi. I'm a Nazi. Do what I say. She kind of always reminded me of... what's her name from the new Star Wars episodes that I don't like, but everybody else likes?
Oh, Padme?
Yeah, her name. What's the actress that did that? You don't know?
I don't know actresses' names.
Come on.
Look, if you showed me like a picture of everything below their head, I would know who you're talking about. But give me their names, I don't know.
Wow. You derailed us and showed that you were a pervert in one foul stroke.
I'm not a pervert.
What's her name? Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Like if you had seen vagina or penis, it would have been, you know, just a little tiny bit. It would, because you already saw like their butts like moving together and
you saw
breasts flopping around.
You saw Dr. Manhattan's penis.
Well, yeah, but that's different.
How is it? Oh, because
it's just a full fireball and he's not thrusting it into anything.
Have you heard about Prey 2?
Yeah, but I didn't like Prey 1.
Oh. Okay.
Honestly, a game about praying.
No, it's
like
not.
Hold the A button. Oh, I got it! Yeah!
No, spelled differently.
It's like you have one hand here and they have to tap the A button to get in. Oh, come on. No.
Faster.
Yes! And then the cues and animation. Prey the video game.
Spelled Prey, like Prey and Predator.
Yeah. They all know that.
I was assuming you didn't.
I know that. Ridiculous. You can be a Muslim, a Christian, or a Hindu. Sweet. I call Christian. Right. Christian, you only have to pray to one God. In Hindu, you have to pray to a whole bunch. It's a lot longer game. All right.